Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to do another chatty get ready with me while I'm here in the Maldives just because it's fun and I feel like I've been a little bit more adventurous with my makeup, so I really wanted to film it and show you guys what I've been doing. So I'm using the One Size Secure the Sweat Primer. Again, in the areas where I usually sweat, this primer is so good for preventing that around the mouth sweat that I usually get when it's really, really hot. To be fair, it doesn't get too hot here at night, but I do still kind of sweat, and when we leave the villa I think it'll still be quite warm and bright outside, so I like having it as like a safety net for any sweat that might come through. So I'm just gonna let that dry, and then for the skin I'm just going to keep it quite light with a little bit of concealer. I am gonna put this kind of all over my face, but I'm just using a very thin layer of it to even out any of the redness on my skin. So our plan for tonight is to head to the bar for some sunset drinks. The bar here faces the ocean and you can really see the sunset so clearly. So I think we're just gonna hang out there before dinner, and then we're getting Southeast Asian food for dinner tonight. We've had a few of the other restaurants already here at the resort, but I think the Southeast Asian restaurant is our favorite. So we're back there for a second night already. And I think tonight is our fourth night. So we're just about halfway through our trip, at least the Maldives portion of our trip, because we are stopping by Singapore on the way back to Hong Kong. I'm using the Ciel Blush and Protect SPF 50 in the shade June. And I'm just going to blend this into my cheekbones. This shade, because it's such a deep brown mahogany kind of color, it acts as a bronzer and a blush for me, and the effect is quite sun-kissed on the skin. So it's perfect for resort makeup when you want to look like you've been out in the sun, you've got a little bit of color, but not too much. I'm also going to add a little bit of the shade January just to the apples of my cheeks. This is going to create that very fresh flush of color. And you guys know that I love a lot of blush, so this makeup look is just very much up my alley. Okay, after looking in the mirror, I think I took the blush a little high right here, so I'm just gonna use the brush that I use with the concealer and just kind of bring down that redness a little bit. But I think the rest of my skin looks really good. I'm just gonna do a tiny bit of spot concealing right here because I do have a spot that's popped out and wanted to join me on this trip. So I'm just gonna cover it up. I'm just cleaning up the blush a little bit. Sometimes you can get a little blush happy, and at least I can, and I just kind of spread it all over my face. And because I like that extra glow, especially on holiday, I'm going to take the Highlight and Protect and put it on the tops of my cheekbones and also right on the bridge of my nose. And then using my blush brush, I'm just going to blend this right on top. What I like most about this concealer, besides the fact that it has SPF in it, is that it just sets down on the skin so it doesn't stay wet or sticky. It just dries down and becomes one with your skin. Now I'm going to take the Danessa Myricks Liquid Blurring Balm. This is the travel size, and it's been a lifesaver on this trip because it just keeps me shine free, and it's still very lightweight. It doesn't look too makeup-y or matte on the skin. It just looks very undetectable and natural. I just spray that all over and let that dry down. It just really helps to keep everything in place while controlling that oil. I'm going to do my brows, just filling them in slightly. For the eyes, I'm going to use this Color Fix Sticks from Danessa Myricks. And I'm just going to put this right in the center of the lids and then blend it out. It has such a pretty glossy wet effect, and it just catches the light so perfectly. It's the perfect pop on the eyes that looks subtle, but still packs a punch. Now that the setting spray is dry on my face, you can see that my skin is pretty much set. Like, it doesn't look shiny or wet. Like, even my forehead, I feel like normally it's way more shiny than this, but that setting spray just kind of tones down the shine. I'm still just gonna put a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder just under my eyes and around my nose and my mouth here. And then I'm just gonna keep the rest of my skin powder free. I'm taking a brown gel eyeliner from Makeup Forever. This is the Aqua Resist color pencil in the shade Limitless Brown. And I am just taking this right along my lash line, and I'm going to draw all the way until this middle part of my eye. So I'm just really focusing it in this outer half, drawing it out slightly, and then using my finger to help define that wing. It just helps to elongate my eyes slightly and adds definition without it being too dramatic. I'm curling my lashes with my favorite heated eyelash curler. And then I'm adding a coat of the Lash Hype Mascara from Heroine Make. For a bit of drama. And then moving on to the lips, I'm going to use this Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine and just line my lips. Smushing my lips together so I get this blurred color on my lips. And then for a little bit of shine, I'm using the Lisa Eldridge Velatura Balm Dewy Lip and Cheek Stick. And of course today I'm using it as a lipstick. Just like that, I feel like it adds the perfect amount of sheer rosy pink to my lips. It's like a very soft rosebud color. And this is pretty much the finished makeup look. I feel like because I'm on vacation, I can be a little bit more adventurous with the colors and the depth of the tones that I use, because this makeup is definitely a little bit more dramatic and more bronzy than what I would normally do back in Hong Kong. I really hope you guys enjoyed this makeup look. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye!